you cannot handle real work, reality talk, 80+ language, simply skip the video.
Vlog number 108. I'm on the way to the Rakowski Stadium, and I think there's constantly something in my head, and I'm gonna share this one. This vlog is gonna be more or less about a red flag characteristic of a human being. And there's one guy in particular. He is from the neighborhood that I have an R&B room in, and he's always lying, always. But for me, I'm not judgmental, I'm just studying him. And the thing is, for the people who say, yeah, Dylan, that sounds all very not sensitive, or I don't know what, but the thing is, I'm sharing this kind of situations because I do believe that people who are in the let's say in the period of their life they want to grow and or want to keep their life clean from, let's say, idiots. But like what I also say, I'm never judgmental to people with, let's say, behaviors that I wouldn't agree with and or even live myself with, because I mentioned this before in previous vlogs. Liars are liars, stealers are stealers. Let's say people who are depressed, they all find each other. But when you collide with other people, for people like me, I'm observing the world and I'm observing the mind of other people, so I also not emotionally attached. But for example, this guy, I meet him multiple times, sometimes in the elevator because he lives in the same block, and if you're watching this, you make up all those things. But the thing is, from the beginning, this is about when people start with small lies and then they get more comfortable with you, and then the level of lies are getting so outrageous that they also feel comfortable enough to speak louder. And this guy, and this is all the things that I'm saying, does all the physical behavior so all over the top that he so knows that I'm not falling for it. One very returning behavior that he has when he tells one of his lies, the thing is, he starts to speak louder, he tilts his head a little bit to the side, but also he squeezes his eyes and he looks me in the eyes. And normal people who look you in the eyes, they don't have to squeeze, because there is nothing to... People like me, I can stare somebody in the eyes and I know who I am. I know what I stand for. And if you watch my vlogs, you will understand that I'm, let's say, a straight shooter. I'm also not operating in the bullshit world, because when it's about lying, you close, every time that you tell a lie, you close a door of opportunity. But besides that, this guy, he tilts his head a little bit, you know, that I'm below him, because some sort of, I think that the reason for this, of course he does it not consciously, because he's not aware of that kind of stuff, because he doesn't have the intelligence. I don't believe that he has the intelligence, because he's 25, he has a normal job, but again, with all the respect, and my vlogs for people are for people who want to grow and get out of this 9-to-5 race. When I say people with normal jobs, there's nothing that I'm trying to disrespect those people. But he's a normal guy with a normal job, has not been through, let's say a colorful youth or whatever, because you can smell it. You can smell it when somebody is real or not, or also has seen more than an average person. But this guy, it's so interesting. He is from Bulgaria. First of all, I was in a setting in front of the mini mart. I was drinking a beer at the end of the day, and he comes next to me. And the first thing, and that's also another thing from people who actually in the lying thing, they're also pretty self-centered, but also they have a very negative view of the world. But the first thing that he says when he came on the table, I'm located in Bulgaria, in Sofia, Bulgaria, but the guy also never went outside the country, he never lived outside the country, but he says one thing, and then he tries to explain me something, although he knows that I'm living over here. And the first time that I came over here was 16 years ago. Yes, I had a little bit of period somewhere else, but yeah, I'm very integrated in this country. I'm even have the Bulgarian tattoo on my hand. But listen to this. he actually he started with, do you know what na zdrave means? Of course I do know what it means, it's for health. And then he tries to explain me it's not for health, blah blah blah, because alcohol is poison. And then the thing about, because he trains a little bit, but according to himself he is some kind of training guru. And this is also one of the lies that he ended with. And this is, but okay, let's finish this one first. He says, because all the Bulgarians, and I'm now saying, now I'm going somewhere with this, all the Bulgarians who drink a lot, they drink to forget, to feel better. But it is, you got different kind of categories. I also told him, I'm drink with people who like to enjoy life, have nice conversations, and not talk about the troubles and the politics and all that kind of normal people talk. No, some people, see, he has a whole negative view already. He says, because all you alcohol drinking people are problem, try to solve problems with drinking. I said, no, I'm not sitting with those people. Yes, sometimes I meet with those people because, like I said, I have a very colorful, let's say, palette of people, and also constantly get new, and my life gets also constantly new, infused with very interesting people from all levels of society. But that was another thing. His view of the world is already twisted, very negative. And next to that, he doesn't drink by himself. In order to judge something, you need to in my opinion, if you talk about alcohol and drugs, you never did some serious amounts, you cannot talk about it, you cannot judge it. I've been there, done it. I did huge amounts of drugs. If you watch my, and I'm not talking about little amounts, filled up my nose and swallowed so many pills that were shaking around in the apartment, and just so paranoid at one point after a few days that I crawled through the light switch in my kitchen to turn it off at daytime. But just to give you an example, because I've been there, done that, and still I'm not judgmental to people who are using drugs. And that's another thing, never be judgmental to people if you never have been there, done that, because you don't know, but I do. And next to that, what was his other lie? He is a very known training guy, calisthenics guy, and I mentioned one neighborhood and said, yeah, you go over there to train, because I know some guys in that specific neighborhood, and one of them is actually training on the schools, or they do demonstration on schools here in Sofia. But he said, yeah, everybody knows me over there, and they are from the similar age. I sent one Instagram DM to the guy. By the way, thank you for responding on this one. Because, and it's not about proving that he was wrong, because I'm not going into a discussion with a lying person, because I don't have any emotional attachment to this person. But I want to know for myself, to confirm, and so I'm looking at his body language, I think he's lying. And not only this, the tonality of his voice, everything was pointing to the fact that he was lying. But to take away this little doubt in my head, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna send one guy a message who and I think they're very streetwise also, and also not into the lying business. But yeah, so I confirmed it 100%. But now there is also I'm now simply curious, because I'm meeting him now more and more on the street, because the weather is good now, which means you run more into people. And the thing is, I'm very curious to his next lies. I'm gonna make an update about this, because like I said from the beginning, little tiny lies and little exaggerations. That's how it starts. I think people should be very aware of people who start with little exaggerations, then of course the squeezing of the eyes, tilting the head, and raising the voice the moment that you, let's say, they have the third or the fourth, from the third or fourth encounter with a human being, they feel comfortable enough to raise the voice, try to somehow not intimidate, but convince you. And I meet so many people. One, and this is one of my exes, he started to lie a lot. And this is not some kind of rant about exes. Yeah, actually a few days ago I was just spending, I did a coffee with her, and I was drinking beer. But the thing is, still the same, still telling all kind of things that are totally don't make sense. But also this person when it's about lying, people repeat circumstances and or elements that would actually confirm their lie, and they repeat it over and over and over too many times. And this is what I do believe in. Of course, there are liars that are very, very professional when it's about lying. But let's say people with, let's say, a below average intelligence, and especially when it's about social intelligence, they're not even aware of their own words, the way they speak, because this is also something what I also believe in. People who start with lying, there is at one point also no limit anymore. And people who lie, even if I meet them after, let's say, a year or something, they're still in the same rat race. Then nothing has changed, nothing, not even their appearance, not the glow from their eyes, because I know from people who start doing their best to escape the 9 to 5 rat race and or start training, you see flourish, they flourish, prosper. You can see it from the eyes. And that's what also the ripple effect into the world. And I do believe every time when you tell a fucking lie, you watch people who are lying, their life is always the same, if not it goes to the drain. The thing is, when it's about, let's say, some people who know me, they know that I went through a lot of bullshit. That is simply because, and I always was really hyperactive thinking with my heart, so I always misjudged people, for especially when it's about business ventures, projects. I always thought they have the same dedication and or skills that they say they have. I was too gullible, and that's why I'm now also sharing all those red flags and of characteristics of people, so maybe you can look around you. Because when you are actually on a daily basis surrounded by people who do ripple effect into your little world, those lies, and you think it's true, in my opinion, and in my personal, in my life, when somebody lies, I don't want them on the same table. I don't want them to be, I'm not shaking hands with them, because I don't want to get in touch with your energy that you have, the energy that you ripple effect into the world. I don't want to be in this energy. I also do believe everything in life is energy. People know, and of course a lot of people are too soft to speak up loud, especially when you're on the work floor, your colleagues or whatever. And also in the past, me, I was okay, I forgive this, but again, a liar is a liar, a stealer is a stealer, and the percentage of people that are changing or willing to change for the better in any kind of category of people, that percentage is very small. I do believe that there's only a small percentage that wants to change, and when you find those people, you should really just be very grateful for that. And I'm very grateful that I have a very trusted circle of people that are 100%. We never bullshit and or gossip and all that normal people stuff, all that negative stuff. But we know this particular vlog is not about gossiping. This is thing about lying, and I mentioned very typical behavior that actually can be recognized by, let's say, the ordinary person. Of course, like I said, there are levels to the game, but these are very obvious. Tilting the head, in combination with squeezing the eyes, speaking louder, just to convince me of his lie, while I already knew. And that's another thing, right? I'm almost 47, and when somebody else is 25, has a normal job and doesn't do anything with his life besides hanging up lies everywhere, you know, you understand life doesn't give you a lot of opportunities to grow. From a very young age, the guy upstairs gave me a lot of opportunities to grow. I wouldn't say problems and or very negative things that people around me caused. I would say the guy upstairs blessed me with a lot of opportunities to grow. There were many times that I could just crawl up in a fucking corner and with a woolen sweater and say, oh, the world is so bad. I had times when I was spending time on the street. Then one thing when it's about spending time on the street, that is one thing you will realize how much time you actually do have. And not only on the street, when you spend time in a police cell or whatever, you understand that a lot of things are not important anymore. And that is also one of the reasons I'm living a very minimalistic but a life of full freedom. If you didn't subscribe yet, you think there's something value that I said, hit the notification bell also on the way when you move your hand to the subscribe button. Anyway, keep your circle clean and try to gather the courage to get rid of those people. And I also understand at one point people are colleagues, people become friends, but also think about it, are people really your friend when they're hanging up constantly all kind of lies or disrespect you? I do believe also when you lie to your so-called friends, you disrespect another person if you're the one who lies. But if you're the one who's getting lied to, you're the one who gets disrespected. I don't believe there's any good coming from it, and you will be sucked into some different dimension that is full with liars and people with weak mindsets. You don't want this. And by the way, what's my my 1 minute exercise set, so you can work on your physique, your mental state, and using this set of movements, body language, to recognize lies, so you can start cleaning up. It's important. Ciao for now. Going for a run.